Hello. Karen Soul Symbols, you just see me shuffle. I just sped it up, so it takes up so much time. Dark Moon reading for the collective, okay? Um, we have the new moon in Capricorn on the 18th, and this is a beautiful time to engage the dark goddess. Really, it is always is the dark moon. So it's about the creative and destructive forces and what we need to integrate. Okay, so I've done a spread here. It's the dark moon of the Sagittarian moon that was on the 20th of December around the winter solstice, 20th, 21st solstice time. So it's an incredible timing for that new moon, quite frankly. But this dark moon is wrapping up that Sagittarian. So it's what did we struggle at the first quarter? What became out as fruit at the full moon in Cancer? And what did we start composting at the last quarter? Okay. So this is what we're going to have a look at. Here we have the void. Oh my goodness. So the cards we have here is the one and agape. The void is what's in the darkness, and they certainly are in the darkness. The one is that sense of, literally, that sense of oneness. We live in a world that's dual, but this card is asking us to be alert for that oneness. Now, that sense of everything being interconnected, everything being one. Oh, I've knocked something over there, is often something that we rarely experience in our life. We often head for it. It's non-duality, one love, the unus mundus. That always reminds me of Monty Python's the unus mundus. Okay, so our ability, these are archetypal cards. This is the selves, okay, this one, the one. But our ability to experience that comes in the most brief and potent moments, but they're often moments that we experience for the rest of our lives. It's the state that many yogis and spiritual people are trying to attain, okay, but it's an energy that unites all things. And I believe it does live in the void. What's hidden in the void, that's where it lives. That's where it is, and why it eludes us so much. It seems very distant, okay? But if we get caught by that feeling of oneness, it often brings a level of awe, a bit of fear, and an intrepidation. Okay. But we glimpse ourselves. It's a dissolution of ego because we see ourselves as a tiny piece of everything there is. Okay. And that's why that can bring fear. That's why we sometimes avoid it. The duality fades if we get that, though. And the agape love. Okay, it's devotional. It's devotion. It's unconditional love. You could say that's what we experience in the one, that archetype of the one. But this is an initiation, okay? So it's asking you, this archetype of where you are in terms of your spiritual practice. Are you putting yourself at the center, or do you put God, goddess, deity, or nature at the center? It's asking us to move out the way, really. So this could be what is not being seen. It may be unconscious to you. It's the void is what is invisible, but it's present. So present for all of you in the collective at this time is this the one and this initiation, the agape. Okay, but agape, we can feel it when we're in awe and wonder. Okay, it's sacred force. So we have in the void these two incredibly powerful archetypes. Okay, it's absolutely impactful. I can't find the words for it, but to have these as our dark moon read, of what's in the void is particularly poignant at this moment. Okay, so we have the shadow material, what to face, what's ready to be seen. So yeah, we have the Two of Swords and we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, these are from the Dark Tarot. I've purposely picked this deck. I normally work with this deck myself because it's kind of really liminal imagery. It's imagery of the subconscious. It's symbolic. Okay. So we have that Two of Swords. This is about our minds. It's about decisiveness. It's about choosing. It's about cutting. And funny that we've had the one and we've had that agape. These are decisions, maybe decisions about how we're moving ahead spiritually or not. Okay. The Queen of Cups again is about love. But the Queen of Cups is that she's water of water. It's the most beautiful love. It could be that, we are so involved in life, in busyness, in doing, that we can't see or grasp onto this Queen of Cups, this beautiful nurturing energy that's there. The mother is that Gaia energy, Gaia of the waters almost. We could be avoiding that. We could be in that state of indecision, in that state of duality. So I think we're being asked here, the shadows as a collective, if it marks you individually, then, work with it. But as a collective, that kind of splitness, the sword. I can't remember what tarot deck it is. I think it's a Starman tarot. The Two of Swords is magnificent. It's somebody being sliced down the middle, and it's that sense of having two parts to us: our ego and our soul. We are constantly facing this duality, and we may be avoiding that. We may not even recognize that in us. We often don't recognize our shadow, even. So, the deep truth, what is the deep truth? The revelation, what, you know, the deep truth that's emerging from our darkness. What have we got here? Oh, wow. We have the Fool, the Fool. Okay. That's the revelation. So this is about what you know in your depths, okay? Truths that have been denied. So this Son of Pentacles, it's the Page of Pentacles. So we're talking about what we're seeing around us material, the ability to have a plan in the material, the ability to move ahead. And this Fool, for me, is always the seed of all potential. It's almost like something that comes out of that void, that centerpiece. Okay. So that denial collectively is our potential as, um, we're bodies, but we're soul, spirit in the physical. We're embodied. Okay. That Page of Pentacles is about embodiment. It is about moving ahead, of being sure. So we know this, it's revelation, it's deep truth. We know in the depth of us that we are the seed of all potential. We are souls here shining that flame, that divine flame. I think we know that at our depths. Um, so that's the revelation from the void. And it's coming with this sense of see yourself, see that love, see the shadow where that love is not reaching you, see your indecision or your duality. Look at the duality, because until we can see the duality that we're living in, we can't do our alchemical work, we can't do our shadow work. Sometimes we don't even see our shadow, we're projecting it out. And I think collectively in the world, that is actually what is happening. There are huge segments of the globe of people, of leadership, of ordinary people who are walking about with absolutely no idea that they contain shadow. And that is projected on other people. We see it with countries projecting their fears and their mindsets of scarcity, etc., onto someone's coming to take this from me. So we've got all those dualities going on, and when we don't look at um, our darkness, we don't. We go on projecting it onto other people. Simple as that. Okay, and that darkness reveals a truth. It is what is being revealed. So that seed of all potential. Now that seed, I'm going to show you that close up so you can see it. That seed of, you know, infinite potential is never good nor bad. It is just that seed. It can be either thing. If we are putting out the negative, we are contributing to our collective shadow. That collective shadow is called Wetiko. Um, it's called many things. The devil. It depends what um, tradition you come from, but it is there. We contribute to it. We contribute to the light and the dark. But when we have that self-awareness, when we realize we have that potentiality as a collective, as an individual, to add to the shadow or add to the light, we can then act consciously. Okay. And that Son of Pentacles is saying, we can do that. We can sow into the material the potential of light. And there will always be darkness and light. It's not dark is negative and light is positive. They are together. They are that one. Um, I don't know if you know it, but there are a lot of traditions, spiritual traditions, that say the Godhead, the Goddess, the God. I know certainly in Christianity, God resides behind dark clouds. People ignore that. He's in the darkness, people, okay? The void is the darkness. The fall emanates from the void, okay? So this is a subconscious message, inner wisdom, okay? It's inner wisdom being communicated. And this is the collective shadow, okay? So we got the Page of Spheres and we've got the Six of Wands, okay? Page of Spheres is the Son of Pentacles, okay? The spheres in this tarot deck are the Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to hold that close. And that Six of Wands is the Victory card, okay? So a repeated message in two different forms here. What are we sowing into the material? Are we sowing transformation? Are we sowing vision? Are we sowing metamorphosis, or are we sowing things that break down, things that bring conflict, that bring difficulty? And we all do all of those things. This is what shadow work is about, to be aware of that. If we're projecting and blaming and shifting responsibility onto other people in any shape or form, and again, it's something we all do, we are adding to the collective shadow, to the outworking that is not for the greatest good of all. Okay, so that's the message from the depths. Okay. Yeah, this can come to you through dreams, through your intuitive knowing, and through listening to your depths. Okay. Wow. So the integration, how do we integrate this? How can we work with this shadow of, you know, the fall, the seed of all potential, the sowing it into the material, the maybe being indecisive or lost in that duality, or unaware of that agape love, the beautiful devotional love. Are we central? Is consumerism central for us? Where are we? What are we doing? Are we putting the divine creator, source, a higher self, that cosmic self at the center of our practices. So, how can we integrate this? Oh my goodness, look at this. Uh, that's a clear message from Spirit. We got Father of Wands, which is the King of Wands, and then we've got the King of Wands. Okay, how do we integrate it? We integrate it by having passionate vision, visionary leadership. So, if anyone is working in the spiritual realm, you are being called to that leadership. And leadership is not about knowing everything, it's not about our knowledge, it's absolutely about the way we live what we know to be true. Okay. So, we were talking about the duality, maybe not seeing that unconditional love, or maybe not giving that unconditional love, maybe avoiding the fact that there is a duality, there is a shadow, or we may have people around us. Everyone is on a different path, a different level, and if we didn't have the darkness, and it's not so much the darkness. If we didn't have the hidden things, the things that are difficult, the suffering, we wouldn't know the other end of the polarity, the deep joy. And often it's in the difficulty that we find that deep joy. So that King of Wands, he's fire energy, okay? But he's wise, he has a vision. So we are being called collectively and individually to vision, and a vision that has passion. Is what you are doing now lacking passion? Are you just doing it to survive? And I know we all have to survive, but we all have a purpose. We all have that potential. And even if we're not paid for what we are doing, it is moving out with it. And it can be so simple. There are people who just smile at you or give you an encouraging word. And we don't see that as a vision. That if everybody done that, if everybody smiled at everyone they met and meant it, how would that change? If everybody gave an encouraging word every time they saw someone, how would that change the world? Okay. So we mustn't despise those small things. Okay. It's about how we live, how we conduct ourselves in the day to day. But we need that vision. We need that vision of that oneness. That's what's in the void, and that agape, that unconditional love. Even if we can't get to that, we need to know that everything is interconnected. Everything that we do, every word we speak to someone, every act, or every word we speak about people is energetic. So there's a sense here that if we are speaking ill of one another, whether that person's present or not, it detracts from that oneness. It hurts the whole in a sense. Yeah. So yeah, heaviness here, but to integrate it, we need to have that vision of that oneness. We need to have the vision of we are here, we are finite, we are going back to source, we're walking home, and we have a beautiful, astounding world to walk in. This Page of Pentacles that's come up twice. I mean, Spirit is being very clear. He's giving double, which is why I pulled a double deck here. It's double. So to integrate it, have that leadership, whether you're leading within your home, it doesn't matter. It's not, being some big wig. And if you are, if you're, the captain of your ship in that way, even more so that responsibility for wise, visionary leadership is there, particularly if you're leading others spiritually. Yeah. And then integrating. Sorry, not integrating, we just don't integrate. We integrate it by wise leadership, by visionary leadership, and that starts with ourselves. Okay. This is about the sixth position, is about rebirth preparation. So we're ready in for the new moon. The new moon is in Capricorn. It is a very powerful new moon. I know People say that a lot in astrology, but it actually is because it is sandwiched between the end of 2025. It's the first new moon, but it is followed by an eclipse in Aquarius in February. Okay, so that is a fated reset. Okay, so there's something poignant about this moon. Um, I have I got it up yet? There is I've got a Sagittarius new moon reading. I've got a Cancer full moon reading, and I have now got up online the new moon. That will be coming out in a couple of days. This will be put up on Wednesday, and on the Friday there's a podcast about the new moon. Very powerful new moon. Okay, so we're looking at it's the final void days. It's the final days of darkness, so we're preparing for renewal. We're preparing, you know, how do we how do we rebirth, renew? We've got that victory there, um, the Six of Wands. We've got that visionary energy there. Okay, so how do we prepare? How do we prepare? Oh my goodness. Well, how do we prepare? We know strength, Ace of Swords. This is beautiful. This is preparation for rebirth. So we're being asked with that sword in the darkness. That sword there reminds me of Excalibur's sword, and only he had the strength, the spiritual strength to pull it out. So we all have a sword, okay? And for me, the Ace of Swords is the magician's sword, and it is to cut through, it is to cut away. So it's having that strength to cut away the things in us, our shadows, the things, our habits, our words, or anything that we know contributes to this witiko, this collective darkness that is very clearly in our world. We can all sit and moan at our leadership, but if we're not being, I don't know who said it, be the change you want to see. If we're not changing things on a minuscule level, like watching our words, having that sense of we are all interconnected, there is unconditional love. That is the ideal of how we should live. Okay. So have a look at that. Have a look where you can use your strength, our spirit for strength. Have a look how you can use that magician's swords. What needs cutting away? What do you need to cut through? Okay. And the swords are also the air, so it's the mind, isn't it? It's that mind. Okay. So, and having that strength there, having the strength in the rebirth preparation when we've had quite a few wands here. We've got the King of Wands twice. We've got the Six of Wands. Yeah. So that's Leo. So it's having that heart, it's the sun, it's fire again. We're talking about a fiery new moon in Sagittarius, the element of fire. Okay, we're being asked to cut away. We're being asked to consider that concept of every single thing, the rocks, the birds, the grass, the flowers, the animals, us. We are all interconnected. We are all from the one. I always look at it like everything you can see with your eyes and that can't be seen is like a cell in one body. Okay, we're all there to do a specific thing or many specific things, but we are carrying out a job for the whole. I mean, it's beautiful. That is beautiful. So there's your dark moon reading. Okay, use it, use what resonated with you, what struck you, um, but know there is a process going on collectively that is huge. 2026 is bringing some of the most astounding astrology. We have a gap here in January to get things laid down, to get ourselves positioned. because there is going to be some difficult astrology later on, or things are going to take off at a speed that we are going to have difficulty keeping up with. So do your work now. If you do your work now, and always be aware, these are the archetypes. This is initiation. We are being, initiation has come up so many times, so many times. Okay, the one resides in the void. We're in a void time now, a liminal space, a dark space, a space where the seeds grow. Have a look at the love, the love in your life that you're receiving, that you're giving, because that'll give you some insight. Use the read to reflect on and to honor that void, honor the goddess, honor your deity before the next lunation comes. All right, bye bye, people. I'll connect those videos up there that are there, and watch out for the New Moon in Capricorn podcast Friday. Okay, bye bye. Lots of love to you all.